The Fever's recent 104-100 victory was nothing short of thrilling, especially given that they trailed by as many as 16 points in the third quarter. But Christie's sides made some comments in the post-game conference that really pissed everyone off, but also proved why Caitlin Clark needs a better coach. The Fever's poor first half, marked by 12 turnovers, seemed to set the stage for a disappointing night. However, they managed to clean up their game in the second half, reducing turnovers to just 3. This improvement was pivotal in their comeback, as it allowed them to focus on scoring and defending without the added pressure of constant giveaways. Key performances from Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston were crucial in securing the win. Clark, who scored 26 points and had 12 assists, was extremely important in improving the Fever's offense. Her ability to create scoring opportunities for herself and her teammates was on full display, particularly in the fourth quarter and then again in overtime. Clark's free throws with just 4 seconds left in overtime sealed the deal for the Fever, showcasing her clutch gene under pressure. Aaliyah Boston, on the other hand, had a career night with 30 points. Her dominance in the paint was a game changer, as she consistently made the right reads and capitalized on scoring opportunities. Boston's performance was not just about individual stats, it was about her impact on the team's overall strategy. But what if this close call game could have been avoided with a proper coach that knew what they were actually doing? Despite the thrilling comeback win, there are lingering concerns about Coach Christie Sides' coaching style and its impact on the team's performance. Sides, who has won coaching awards in the past, has faced criticism for her old-school approach, which some argue does not align well with the modern pace of the WNBA, especially when you have the #1 rookie in the league. One of the key issues is Sides' emphasis on slowing down the game and focusing heavily on defense. While defense is undeniably crucial, this approach has been questioned, especially given the Fever's struggles in the third quarter. In many games, including the recent match against the Atlanta Dream, the Fever has experienced significant drops in momentum during this period. This raises questions about whether Sides' strategy is adaptable enough to handle the fast-paced nature of today's WNBA. The only thing that pushes the Fever's speed is Clark when she gets possession from the opposition scoring or getting a rebound. Clark forces the ball back to her bigs or whoever is open by acting as a quarterback and launching the ball back to them. Many are questioning whether Sides is the right fit for the team, particularly given her old-school approach to the game. The modern WNBA is known for its fast-paced, high-scoring games, and Sides' strategy often seems to clash with this dynamic. The Fever's struggles in the third quarter, a period where they frequently lose momentum, are a prime example of this issue. This quarter has been a recurring problem, and it's clear that Sides' approach isn't always effective in addressing it. The game plan by Sides has come under issues multiple times in the past, and when in post-game interviews she constantly blames it on the players and says they don't listen and they weren't following instructions. The bench is something that is also very underutilized with the team's lack of depth and rotation. The Fever's bench has not been getting enough game time, which really screws with the development of younger players and can lead to the team getting pulled apart during critical moments, or specifically in the upcoming playoffs. This lack of depth was evident in the game against the Dream, where the starters had to carry a heavy load to secure the win. The need for a more balanced mix of players and better rotation strategies has been highlighted, especially as the team prepares for the playoffs. For instance, in the overtime win against the Dream, Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark were instrumental in securing the victory, but the bench's contribution was minimal. Boston's career-high 30 points and Clark's 26 points were pivotal, but the team's reliance on these two stars raises concerns about what might happen if they have an off night or if injuries become a factor. The bench needs to be more involved and prepared to step up when needed. For Clark to really shine and thrive, she needs better coaching. She did well under coach Lisa Bluder at Iowa because Lisa knew what she was doing. So for Caitlin to really thrive, there needs to be more input and similarities to what Bluder employed. And if not, the Fever will only be as strong as its weakest link, which is Sides. Clark can only carry the team for so long. The Fever's bench is filled with talented young players who are not getting the game time they need to grow. This not only affects their individual development, but also impacts the team's overall performance. In a league where depth is crucial, especially during the playoffs, the Fever's lack of bench involvement could be a significant liability. The rotation strategy Sides chooses have been criticized for being too predictable. Opponents often know what to expect from the Fever's lineup, which can make it easier for them to prepare and counter the Fever's moves. A more dynamic rotation that involves the bench more effectively could add an element of unpredictability and make the team more successful. One of the things the Lynx has done really well that has allowed them to beat the Fever twice now now was locking down the Fever's offensive plays. The coach knew exactly what was going on and was able to read the plays like a book. Increasing their defense and tightening up essentially choked out the Fever and suffocated them, which forced a turnover. As the Fever enter the final stretch of the regular season and prepare for the playoffs, the pressure on Sides to adapt her coaching style and address the team's issues will only grow. Fans are eagerly watching to see if she can deliver the results they hope for, and the recent overtime win, while exciting, was not necessary to burn out the key players and keep pushing them to get the win. Sides' comments after the game, where she emphasized the need for improvement despite the win, have left fans and critics questioning her coaching philosophy. When asked what happened after the halftime break, Sides said,
I do not know. I think we just needed to come out with a little bit more sense of urgency. Put ourselves in a position where we're not playing catch up from behind, and just learn to come out. Starts on the defensive end, and I can't say that enough.
What coach says that the team needs to come out with more urgency? Your job as the coach is to create the urgency and get the team fired up to want to come out and make something happen. This again just shows the lack of coaching ability from her. She also said,
"Yeah, I think they totaled 26 more shots than us anyway, even taking care of the ball in the second half. Honestly, you don't usually get a win like this with that many turnovers, and it's just that important. We just keep telling them, you just got to play good, average, good defense, but got to take care of the ball because we're going to be able to put the ball in the hole. That is what we're capable of doing, but you can't just keep taking those opportunities away by, making turnovers that are not forced, like on us, got to clean that up."
All Christie is seeming to do here is just put the errors back on the team. She's not taking any of the accountability herself. She's the coach. She needs to be providing better calls, better plays, and better support if she really wants to win a championship. The Fever have shown resilience and the ability to come back from significant deficits, but without a more balanced and modern coaching approach, their chances of getting more success without making the changes are slim. The team's reliance on standout performances from players like Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark can only take them so far. For the Fever to truly thrive, they need a coaching philosophy that complements the strengths of their players and adapts to the evolving nature of the WNBA. The underlying issues with Sides' coaching philosophy remain a significant concern. From the need to address the third-quarter slump to the importance of better rotation and player development, there are many challenges that Sides must overcome. As the Fever move forward, it will be crucial to see whether Sides can adapt and lead the team to sustain success, or if changes will be necessary to ensure the team's future in the WNBA.
This week, our practice wasn't that way. They worked hard last week, gave them several days off, but they're working hard. And this is just, we haven't had this time together, not just on the court, but off the court, where you're able to get a lot of things in basketball-wise and just team chemistry.